Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Warrior Happy Hour. Champions and Legends Weekly Warrior Happy Hour. Yes, folks are coming on. I'm going to let everybody get a chance to join in. But this week's happy hour, I know we're going into a holiday weekend and people are going to be skipping out of town a little early and enjoying some of the weekend, hopefully not getting COVID while you're gone. And let's see, let a few more people get on. Yes, indeed. Hello, Kiki. Yeah. Got a few people coming on. Let them get situated. All right. Hey, there's Mr. Corley. I see him. All right. So, welcome to the Champions and Legends Weekly Warrior Happy Hour, where we get together with gym owners, coaches, fitness professionals, trainers, pro athletes, amateur athletes, healthcare professionals, and they all come together right here at the happy hour to talk about CBD. We talk about fitness regimens. We talk about best practices in preparation, performance, and recovery. At the end of it all, it's really about helping us, regular folks like you and me, become or strive to be the best version of ourselves, all right? We're always trying to become the best version of ourselves, so hey, this is a great arena for us to do that in. And we're all here with Champions and Legends. So Champions and Legends produces a hemp-derived CBD-based sports supplement line that's for athletes of all types in preparation, performance, and recovery. And we talk about that all the way through. And you can get the Champions and Legends products at championsandlegends.com. Show up. You can not only get the products, but you also get the truth about CBD. There's a lot of education about CBD on the site. So go check that out. And you got to see the products. These products, sexy, they look good, and they work great. And proof that they work great is, when we actually launched a athlete partner roster. And I'm going to share some of these athletes with you, and it's an ever-growing list. So we'll start off with two beasts. We got James Harrison, who is a two-time Super Bowl champ. We have Thor Bjornsson, world's strongest man. And man, these guys, strong, as you can see, but they are using the products and enjoying using them in their regimen of workouts, in recovery, working out, so on and so forth. We have Adamandra and Tommy Caldwell, two of the top rock climbers in the world. They are also enjoying the Champions and Legends line. And currently, finally, we have Pat Vellner and Sarah Sigmundsdottir. And they are top male and female CrossFitters, beasts. And I can't wait to meet them myself, actually. But yeah, that's the beginning of our roster. We have a lot more athletes that are going to be joining us and enjoying not only the products, but enjoying the benefits of CBD in their work regimen. So the whole idea is to, get the tools that you need in your tool bag so that you can cut that edge, get that edge over your competition, or get the edge to be the best version of yourself. All right, so let's see here. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on the first guest. Our first guest is Dave Hall. Now, I call Dave Hall a master trainer. And he's also got a very interesting path that he goes through, especially with these Agoge fitness systems. So let's see if I can find Mr. Hall. Let's see here. Where is he? There he is, Alabama Sasquatch. Dave, come on in.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. It's good to see you. You know,
Thank
I know you had kind of a rough day today.
you. Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on, man. And
Oh, sure.
yeah, you come highly recommended. Some of
Oh,
your
man.
friends speak very highly of you. So as I got you on the phone, I'm like, okay, whew, I'm sweating here. This guy is a beast out there in Alabama, right? You're in Alabama.
Whatever, man. Cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. So, well, I always like to start off. I think Roberta Bentley just said hello. Great to see you.
Yeah, I see you. Hey, what's up, Roberta? How are you, hon?
Yeah, so she speaks very highly of you. So I mean, we gotta deliver now, baby. We gotta
Yeah, perhaps maybe a bit of exaggeration there, but I'll try to live up to the hype.
Okay, okay. Now, explain to me a Goji Fitness. Let's start there. And did I even pronounce it right?
It's a Gogi Fitness Systems. When I was naming my business, I broke the two cardinal rules of naming a business.
Uh-huh.
I picked a name that nobody can actually pronounce, and I also picked a name that nobody knows what the hell it even means. So it was kind of a rough start, but it gives me this opportunity to tell this story.
All right.
So I'm kind of a nerd in addition to being a bit of an athlete. The Agoge was the school that Spartan youth went through way back in ancient Greece. And so when I was coming up with a concept for my gym, everybody kind of goes hyperbolic systems and goes for the real hype, right?
Right.
But for me, my background is also in martial arts. And so the idea of a gym being a school or a place that you go to work on yourself, like you say, to become the best version of yourself,
Right.
totally was, that was what I was looking to do. And so, so I approached my gym from more of a dojo standpoint of this place where you go to work on yourself and to improve yourself.
Right. So you have a physical and mental aspect of it that you bring
Absolutely.
together.
For sure. Yeah, we do. We specialize in strength training, martial arts. I look, from the physical standpoint of fitness, there are three main pillars of fitness. That's your strength, your conditioning, and your mobility, flexibility. And so we try to create programs for our athletes that, that hit all of those components. And so, it's fun. I can't think of a better way to make a living.
And you have a game plan that is somewhat different. You deliver it different than most people. So, I mean, you have the three pillars, right? And I think everyone touches on them. But what is the most difficult one to get people to move forward in as far as these three pillars?
That would be the mobility, flexibility, man.
Really?
Oh yeah, nobody really wants to touch that. And so over the years, we've tried different things. We've tried having a yoga program. We've tried doing just straight up flexibility classes. And I finally just got really sneaky about it. And so I'm a terrible thief. Like I think most of us are in this industry, right? You see something good that somebody else is doing and you steal that. And so I institute a systematic approach to how we train so that when everybody comes into the gym, we start off with our warm up. And that's when I hit them, man. We're gonna that warm up is a mobility, flexibility warm up. And if I can get you doing that, right, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I mean,
I ran track in college, and
yeah,
we would spend 30 to 40 minutes warming up.
yeah,
And granted, I was up in Oregon, which is a lot colder, but we spent a lot of time on the warm up and the stretch and all that. And you can prevent a lot more injuries if you take more time in that area, right?
yeah, absolutely. I think it's super important, and I think it's one of those things that and I tell my people all the time. I'm like, look, if you can make this a daily thing for you, you're going to move through the world so much better. You're just going to feel better in your body.
Mm.
Right. And so, and that's my primary focus with my clients is to improve their quality of life through training. Right.
Right.
That, you know, you are, I used to have this marketing formula that strength is ability, ability is confidence, confidence is happiness. Therefore, getting stronger makes you happier.
Yep.
Right. You know, there's no reason not to be strong. Right. Life is just simply easier. Like Mark Repetto says, man, strong people are harder to kill. So, you know,
I love it. And, you know, it seems like there's so many things that are out to kill us in this world. You know,
oh my God.
just
Right.
foods we eat, that the way that we even move through the world. We're a lot more dangerous of a human being now than we were 100 years ago. Right.
Yeah.
Ourselves as much as
right. Yeah. 100%. You know, my personal role model is my grandfather. He lived, he owned a farm in Middle Tennessee, lived until he was 99 years old. And one of the, you know, he lived through the Depression, World War II, one of the strongest men I've ever known. And so every time, you know, that I look for an inspiration, it's usually my grandpa that I look to. And so, yeah.
So what was his secret to living so long?
He was active. You know, I mean, he lived through a generation where, you know, daily diet was fatback and, vegetables that came out of the garden, right? I mean, like bacon and sausage and homemade biscuits for breakfast every morning. But he was always working, you know, on a farm. There's no time. There's always something to do.
Right.
And so it was this combination of always working, but also knowing that you were never going to get done. So figuring out how to pace yourself.
Right.
You know, and,
staying in motion.
Yeah. And approaching your work with just sense, right? Just applying common sense to, you know, I think all too often, particularly in the gym, you see people coming in and they're like, you know, like, I'm going to lose 15 pounds today in this workout right now, right? And they just throw themselves at it. And I'm like, dude, one workout is not going to change anything, right? You're going to come in today and you're going to kill it. And then you're not going to be able to move for 3 days, right? And so your net gain, right, is hardly anything.
Right.
Whereas if you come in today and you do a little bit, and then you come in tomorrow and you do a little bit, you know, and then you keep doing that, by next week you're able to do a little bit more, right? So this consistency, you know, consistency and persistency when you're approaching your work means so much more than, you know, what you do in any one workout.
Right. I hear that. Now, when you go into that whole consistency piece, I believe that martial arts, which is why I still have that picture up there, is the key to people learning that. There's two things that I noticed about this picture. One, that you're wearing very colorful shorts. And the two is that you're quite a bit larger than the man that you're next to.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not a tiny man.
Yeah. So give us some stats so that folks have an idea to put you in perspective.
So, you know, as far as my size.
Yeah.
All right, I am 6'2", and just got off the InBody today. I'm 267 pounds.
Whoa, okay. So you got the whole volume thing working, but then if you look at this, I don't want you kicking me. You know what I mean? And this is what form of martial arts is this?
This is Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're known for the colorful shorts. The Thai.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On the colorful shorts. But
yeah.
So you're getting your body, because we're about the same height, but you got me by 40 pounds.
Easy, right?
And so
now that comes at a cost though, right? You know, so being bigger means it also takes a lot more energy for me to move around. So, you know,
so in better shape than the average person.
If I catch you, right, there might be a problem. But the effort is that I got to catch you first, right?
Right, right. You know, I'll give you a run for your money in that category.
I am sure you will, man. I'm sure you will.
The power that you probably generate will inspire me to keep moving.
Fair enough. Right on.
Now and that's the whole tough guy side of you. Okay, and I'm gonna throw up something here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so we got tough guy. We got this guy who's like just precious over here.
Oh,
The flower and everything. What's going on there?
that was my daughter's wedding, man. My oldest daughter got married. She's actually coming up on her first-year anniversary. So, yeah.
You know, get you there, and I'm thinking, oh, this guy would never hurt anybody.
I wouldn't hurt anybody. I'm a delicate flower, man.
Competition. That whole idea is to hurt somebody, right? and then I have this other like amazing picture of you. Is that a stone you're trying to pick up?
Yeah, that's an Atlas stone.
Yeah, yeah. So those weigh about how much?
I mean, they vary. I've got stones that start. I think my lightest stone is 114 pounds, and they go up to around 260. Now you'll see guys in competition with stones that are going well over 300 pounds.
Well,
so
yeah. And you know Thor, who's on our team, he's probably picked up a few of those as well.
Oh, quite a few, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. So the question
you could probably juggle mine.
Huh?
I said he could probably juggle mine.
Well, yeah, that dude is a beast. That's no question, no question. So one of the questions I have for you is like you participate in so many different types of physical fitness.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with injury?
I try to avoid it as much as possible.
Good. That's a good idea. That's a real good idea. However, if you're not getting hurt, somebody around you is getting hurt. Do you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do you recommend for folks? You know, and I think you kind of know where I'm going with this. Inflammation, for soreness, muscle soreness. You know, that guy that comes in or gal that comes in and blows it up the first day and won't be able to walk. What do you do? What do you recommend?
Well,
probably come to you just like the bartender or the psychiatrist or whatever. Hey man, what do I do? Right.
So oddly enough, you know, my wife is an amateur herbalist and has been for a very long time. Okay. So I'm much more of an advocate of more holistic and natural approaches to recovery. Mm-hmm. So, you know, first and foremost, you know, nutrition is on top of everything. You know, you've got to eat right. When you know, a lot of the, especially with like soft tissue injury and stuff, the old formula for rice, I'm sure you know, is no longer the prescription anymore. It's you know, you got to get blood flow into that area, and you got to get moving as quickly as possible, as intelligently as possible, right? We're not trying to, you know, exacerbate injury, but, you know, just laying around waiting for it to feel better is not the way for it to feel better sooner. And then I'm a huge advocate of, you know, analgesics, you know, the homeopathic route of arnica or anything like that. And then, of course, CBD. CBD is like both topical and taking it as, you know, as the oil, I think are great approaches to dealing with pain management. You know, I know we talked before that, you know, for a brief period, I had my own CBD company. And that's one of the reasons that we actually started that, was that we were looking for that analgesic effect, without having to go to harsh things like Advil or Tylenol or any of those other things that have, you know, systemic problems, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, you know, taking something that has a much more, you know, harmonious response with the body is, in my mind, totally the way to go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and for the longevity of it, because at the end of the day, we're not going to stop moving and working out and experiencing pain, injury, so on and so forth. At least I don't plan on stopping. And if I'm still taking Advil or some of the this prescription stuff, it's tearing me down from the inside out.
That's right.
So it's like finding that harmony, finding that balance is key. So, Dave, I mean, that's awesome, man. And you know your stuff for sure, for sure.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You did something very unique during this COVID thing. And I have some, another picture here. That is, let's start off on the, on this side. This is
okay.
Logo for you.
Yep.
Explain what that is, because that on the other side, I think almost speaks for itself. Tell us about the Alabama Sasquatch.
So it's a nickname that I picked up. God, I don't even know how long ago it was, but several years ago, I, from my travels and doing workshops around the country, sort of picked up this moniker of the Alabama Sasquatch.
Oh, so they're calling you this?
Oh yeah, that's me. I'm the Alabama Sasquatch.
Wow. Okay. I love it.
So when COVID hit, and back in March, and my gym was shut down. Like March 20th, the county sent me notice, was like, go home, stay there, right? Mm-hmm. I had to figure out what I was going to do. I mean, honestly, I went home and freaked out. I really did. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I mean, I run a small gym, and it's not a very large clientele. Mm-hmm. I make a comfortable living, and I'm very happy with what I do. But there wasn't a bunch of reserve, man, for me to be sitting there not making any money for 2 months, right? I mean, I think that's true for most of us that run our own gyms. This is as much a work of passion and love as it is, a financial thing. So,
right.
I know a lot of us suddenly were like, what the hell are we going to do? And so I spent a lot of time soul searching, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I was going to pivot. And I did two things. One thing I think that anybody can do, and the other thing I'm just in a unique position to be able to do. Mm-hmm. The unique thing is I happen to own my house. So I was in a position where I was able to take some money out of the house, and I'm in the middle right now of actually building a gym on my property.
Oh, wow.
So that, I'm a big fan of the concept of self-reliance. And so, okay, all right, you tell me I can't train here at my business, I'm going home, and I'm going to go train at home, because I got my thing. Right. But the other thing that I did was I realized that the gym itself is actually not essential, which is a really hard pill to swallow at first. Movement is essential. Exercise is essential. Being physical in the world, that is absolutely essential. And I would be a miserable person if I could not do that. Nobody would want to hang around me. I would just not be a good person.
And you being the Sasquatch, I mean, it would be tough.
Right? See, it's not good for anybody. It's a terrible recipe. But that's just it. I was training at home. I took some gear home. I had my kettlebells. I had some clubs. I had everything that I needed at the house. And so I was out at the woodpile training, and I was like, well, what am I doing? So I set up a camera. I wrote a program. I started filming workouts, and have created a website and basically a membership site that people can join and train at home with minimal equipment. You don't have to spend a ton of money to outfit a home gym. You could spend less than $150, and wow, you could have everything that you would need to get fit if you're not fit, or stay fit, or even improve your fitness. It's really just a matter of, maximizing what you've got. Yeah. And what is that? That's your body. So there's a lot of body weight stuff. Kettlebell stuff is great for adding resistance. I love to split firewood. So actually have a wood burning stove here at the house, and so every summer and fall, I'm always putting up firewood. So that was my studio for all of my filming, was right over there by the wood pile, and
Okay.
it was a fun project. I really enjoyed doing it. I learned a lot. I learned filming, editing, web design. I designed the website myself. In fact, there's still some bugs I'm still trying to get worked out. I actually had to hire somebody to help me finish that out. But yeah, it just, and it left me feeling better, because what else was I going to do? I mean, I'm stuck at home. Our shutdown was like 2.5 months that the gym was officially
Yeah.
closed, right? Where, we were legally obligated to stay closed.
Right.
And so, and even now that we've been allowed to open up, um, the public right now is not really comfortable coming back. And
Right.
so a lot of my old clients are like, hey man, we're gonna lay out a while and see what happens. And so, you've got to shift to however the industry is shifting.
Yeah,
Like,
and you did a great job of making that shift. And the fact, now that I know you, I can imagine a lot of people followed you to do this. Did you feel that you were able to sustain yourself, and people were like, "Hey, I can do that. I can."
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in fact, I think I hate to say this because I know this has been such a hard thing for the country and that a lot of people have suffered, but it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. Just in terms of giving me, dude, I was working 80-hour weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'd get at the gym. My first class would start at 6, and I wouldn't get home until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I'd have enough time to come home, have dinner with my family, crash because I was going to be up at 4:30 the next morning. And
Wow.
I would do that, 5, 6 days a week. I'd work half days on Saturday. So I never even had a full weekend.
Well,
And
interesting
so,
enough, that is a mix, right? You're beating your body up to help people be
oh,
better.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
tough, man. But
But it's so common amongst gym owners, man, is that they get into this business and they just give, trying to get people. Because let's also face it, in the general population, most people don't want to do what we do,
yeah, true.
right? Particularly, I mean, I think as a business model, if you are an athletics trainer, if you are, if you're a coach who's specifically working with athletes, particularly athletes who are driven to a particular sport, I think it's better for you. When you start working with general population,
Oh yeah.
it's a hard sell, man.
But the thing is, it takes a personality like you. I've had different trainers on and different guys on, and there's a common thread, man. There's a true caring about other people that that I'm finding that
Yeah,
is the common thread between all of the different people who come on board who are in that position, in that sort of love-hate position. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to work out with someone who I'm thinking, oh man, he is gonna beat my butt today, and I don't really feel like it. I like this guy, but I don't like this guy. And or gal. I mean, I think
right.
I'll tell you, there's been some female trainers that have left me panting like with
Yeah.
sweat. I mean, and soreness, and I'm like, really, really, did you just do this just for me, or is that kind of beat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and that leads me to my final slide. Is, I mean, you got a family of people who come to you,
Yeah, for
all
sure.
races, females, males, young people, older people. Tell me about your clients.
They're just everyday folks, man. I mean, my goal is to take, and this is where I started, was to take, powerlifting and strongman and strength sports
Uh-huh.
and make them accessible to anybody.
Right.
So, I mean, like, everybody who comes into my gym learns how to squat. Everybody learns how to deadlift. There's no reason why you can't. And if there is a physical impairment that prevents you from doing it conventionally, then
Yeah.
we're going to figure out a way to make it accessible to you.
Yeah.
So that, so that even if I have to, if you have to pull from pins or I have to come up with some other different regression in order to make that movement accessible to you, by getting into that and grooving those movements, we're actually going to improve your ability. And eventually, if you stick with it, you will be pulling from the floor. You will be doing full squats. So let's start from wherever you are and go from there.
Okay, I hear that, man. In fact, we have some guys on our team that are our business team that are weightlifters and power lifters, and I'm not really I'm coming from that space. I like to run around a lot, so but yeah, man, I appreciate you coming out and hanging with me today. I tell
Dude,
you,
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
and you know your stuff, man, and your clients are blessed to have you for sure. Now,
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
absolutely. Now, I always have a guest leave me with a saying, something a mentor gave them. One thing that you can leave with the viewers, the people who are guests. What could you leave with us this week?
Oh man, I would leave with you what I have written up on the whiteboard at my gym at the very top, and it's that you matter, man. Everybody matters. You matter. Treat yourself accordingly.
Treat yourself accordingly. Wow, I appreciate that. Dave, you're the best.
Ah man, I appreciate the opportunity.
I see why you were recommended, man. And golly, we are definitely better for having you here with us today. So thanks again. And hopefully, I don't know if I'll be out in Alabama.
You're welcome, man. Anytime you head this way, you just holler at me, man. I'll hook you up. I'll take care of you.
I look forward to it, brother. I look forward to it. So thanks again for coming. All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Cheers, bud.
All right, be good, man.
You too. Man, Dave is not only a beast, but he is a really, really nice guy. And we're definitely better off for having him join us. So this is the Champions and Legends Weekly Warrior Happy Hour. And Champions and Legends produces hemp-derived CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. My next guest is also very, very interesting. Michael Corley. We're gonna just let him tell his story, but this guy, wow, he's been through it. He's seen some things. Let's see if we can get Mr. Corley on the line here. There he is. Boom. Boom. All right. Where is he? Come on in, Michael. He's connected. Man, we got fighters in here. And there he is, Michael Cook. How are you, sir? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. He might have a tight connection. Okay, so he gave the salute. Hey, how's it going? You doing all right, brother? Oh, that signal is a little bit suspect. All right, I think we got you. There he is. All right, I think your signal is a little bit suspect, but we'll try to work our way through it. Dude, Mr. Corley, we're gonna start off with this picture. This is your business, Heritage Muay Thai. I would be asking you to tell us a little bit about that journey and how you got to become a Muay Thai champion and put together Heritage. I don't know if you can even hear me. Man. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, there we are. You said, yeah, go out and get a better signal
Can you hear
somehow,
me?
huh?
Yeah, I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on. Wi-Fi
Well,
is
listen,
bad
brother,
too.
thank you for coming on. And as you can see behind me, we got Heritage up. Are you at the gym right now? Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Man,
Yes, sir.
I've taken some time to like learn a little bit about you, but I want you to tell us about Heritage first and just kind of give us the overall scoop on that.
About 6 years ago, I got in with some partners to start a gym, and over time we grew and we grew, and it came to a point where, um, I think we outgrew our spot, but people weren't comfortable with jumping out to, another, they were comfortable where they were, which isn't a bad thing. But I was wanting to grow, and I wanted to get out more. I was in downtown Houston. I wanted to go out into like the neighborhood, any neighborhood, to try and reach the youth because we didn't have a lot of the youth there. And I believe as a coach, you want to, if you want to really make an impact, you got to reach the youth because you start training people in the fight business at 22 years old. It's going to be
Right.
tough for them to compete against the best that have been training since they were 8. So that's why I ended up splitting off on good terms with
Yeah.
everybody
So
about
so
2
we're
years
talking Muay
ago
Thai.
and started
Now,
my own gym, Heritage
how did
Muay
you
Thai.
get to become this Muay Thai guru, coach, champion? I mean, there's a journey there because I think once we talked, you spent time yourself in Thailand, right? Okay, so go ahead and give us the story. Let's hear the story.
Yes, sir. Uh, I'll give you a quick one. So I started off doing amateur boxing. Um, I was a normal kid growing up playing baseball, basketball, football in Texas. And one of my dad's friends was a former professional boxer, and he asked me, we used to go watch fights over at his house all the time. He said, hey, you want to go try out the boxing gym? And first day I went there, I immediately said, this is it. And I told my baseball, basketball, everybody, all the coaches, I'm done. I'm going to do boxing. And they were just laughing. And then from boxing, I met mixed martial artist Eve Edwards, and he started showing me, MMA and boxing and jiu-jitsu and all these different things. And then I took a more interest to Muay Thai. And then throughout, my training and competing, I knew that I needed to go to the source and, seek higher, to get the highest level. So after college, most of my friends were going into the real
Man,
world, and
now
I was
I just
going to
have these
Thailand to go try
movies
and be a
running in my
professional
head
fighter.
about what that must have been like. An American brother walking on over to Thailand and like first off not being accepted right away because the American is over here trying to do our thing, and then having to fight your way to respect over there. That's the movie that's in my head. How was it in you? How did it actually happen?
So the first time I went there, I was on the USA team and I competed in Korea at the World Championships that year, and I just realized I was good in North America, but not world level. So after after that experience, I knew I needed to go to Thailand, and one of the sponsors of the team was a Fairtex, an equipment company, and they also had a camp in Thailand. And they said anybody that was interested, they can go to Thailand and get a discounted rate. So I went and stayed there for a month, and then that month just changed me. I went back on the USA team one more time, and then after that, there was a position at that same camp that I visited for the camp manager in Thailand, and I applied for it. I got it, and I just lived at the camp,
Oh,
worked
no
at the
doubt.
camp,
So
competed at the
tell me
camp. It
about the
was
process
like a
of
dream come
being
true.
trying to get into the space. And then I can't imagine being a fighter that you would not have experienced injuries while you were over there.
Oh, yeah, some bad ones. My first professional fight, I was in a village in northern Thailand in Isan called Chayapum, and in the first round, a guy threw a really hard low kick, and I blocked it wrong, and ended up breaking my patella, my kneecap, and I knew it was hurt, but I just continued on, and I knew I had to try and finish the fight. So in the second round, I luckily stopped him with some punches and elbows, and he quit. And he was walking to his corner, and the referee waved it off. But I couldn't walk out of the ring.
Man.
I was in pain.
And that's just one of many injuries I'm sure you
really
experienced. Now, when you're over there, I know there's a lot of holistic medicine over there. Did you experience that, or would?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a funny one with that. So it was like after the fight, I was in the village, and a lot of them they're drinking Thai whiskey and stuff like that. It's they're healing ailments. But a guy came up to me and he said, how these deer, when they're in the mountains, like what happens when they fall down and break their leg? When these deer are in the mountains, they fall down, they break their leg. How does an animal? They don't go to the hospital. I said, I don't know. What do they do? He goes, they lay down and they lick their wound. And the saliva from the deer heals it. And they say they could stay there for a full day or two, licking their wounds, and they would heal. And so he said that they take extract from the antlers from that area and they mix it with some village potions, and that was what he gave me. He gave me this little vial of stuff to put on my knee. I was like, oh, all right. And no, I didn't know the how serious it was. I was like, man, it's just I got hit really hard. But then when I went back to Bangkok, where it's like more sophisticated hospitals, I realized they got an X-rays. I broke my kneecap in half, like
right. So in Bangkok, they didn't
require
rub
surgery.
it down with monkey pee or anything like that. Yeah, exactly,
No.
Exactly. Now, one of the big things, being a champion, being in the fighting game, did you experience CBD at all while you were traveling and even back here? Do you experience it?
Later, yeah, when I was at the end of my career, like when I started taking a role as a coach, it started becoming more available.
Okay.
And it wasn't available so much when I was competing. But when I did, I started using it a lot as when I was a coach, when I'm holding pads all day for the fighters. Like, I feel like I can't wind down. Like, I feel like my body's still holding pads after like an hour. I'll eat dinner and my fork is shaking and my body's still like, not calmed down yet. So I tried some different
take the edge off, right?
CBD to try and like wind me down towards the end of the day. Yeah. And I found some good, some
we got
not
for
so
you.
good.
We got something
I'm
for you,
still
bro.
out there
We
trying.
definitely got, and you right here in
one.
Houston. Yeah, and I'm surprised we never met before, but now that we know each other. Yes.
You know my good
so
friend
Lou
Lou
well.
Savarese. That's that. Oh yeah, I when I did professional boxing,
yeah.
I
So
fought
you're
under his
connected. You're
promotion,
connected because
yeah.
Louis checking out the Champions Legend products as well. So yeah, that'll be good. So one of the other things that I wanted to chat with you about, not only being a champion, you got the glove up. Hey, you won the fight, but you have taken up another fight here with the U.S. Muay Thai Federation. You are the president of that organization. Now, why did you even pursue that? And why wouldn't you just stay a coach or whatever?
It's one of those things where you just you see something wrong. You can, a lot of coaches, we complain about officials, we complain about this and that, and there's something you can do about it, rather than just complain. And I was an athlete 08 and 09. I helped manage the team in 2010 because I was living in Thailand at the time. Then I was a coach in 2016, and I knew that year there was a possibility that it was going to get Olympic recognized. I knew that U.S. had a lot of stuff we needed to do to become that level. The game is going to get, it's going to get even more difficult if it gets Olympic recognition. In some countries, they're going to start getting funding. and I feel like we were going to get surpassed if we didn't do something. So when I went back home, I realized it was a election year, and I had experience as an athlete, a coach. I've promoted shows, and I was like, I can do this. I know what it takes to make something happen. So I ran and got
Nice,
elected,
nice.
and
I mean, I'm
I'm
sure
about to
that
run for the second term here.
the competitors and everyone involved really respect the fact that you've been where they are. And I think that probably makes a big difference in having, you know, some soup who's probably never even been short, right? So what is the biggest change that you were able to make happen
Yeah, yeah.
on the, you know, in the organization?
For you, I think it was just opening the doors to people. It was very regionalized. Like there would be a team when the USA team were formed. It was like a pack of gyms in the New York area, and
It wasn't organized.
The U.S. wasn't fully represented. So yeah, and so I just started bringing in people that are good, you know, in different areas. I brought in the best officials. I brought in the best coaches for youth athletes, the best coaches for adult athletes, and just opened doors for people because everybody's hungry for the same thing. They just weren't given an opportunity
So
in the past.
now this Olympics,
so
this Olympics would have been the first or second time that it's been in.
So 2016 it got provisionally recognized. So in 2017 it was in the World Games in Poland, and then it was supposed to be in 2021's World Games in Alabama, but they moved it to 2022. So it hasn't been in the Olympics yet.
Okay.
It's Olympic recognized. It's just not in the full Olympics yet.
Okay.
But
yeah.
the World
Well, you know
Games
what?
is the next biggest.
Where's
thing.
it going to be held?
Big
the
stage.
Next one. Okay.
The World Games is going to be in Birmingham, Alabama.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I got to call your previous guests and get
sure.
some ground troops over there to help.
Be all over it. But yeah, man. So you know, I appreciate you coming on and sharing, you know, your life experience with us. Is there any, you know, because I'm thinking when you were in Thailand, you probably learned a bunch of things and brought back some cultural things and just some learnings. I always like to ask our guests, you know, share with us something that a mentor told you, or maybe one thing that you could leave with us to take with us, you know, down the road.
I think it means how can you take someone somewhere that you've never been yourself? So me, I wanted to go and pursue the highest of all things so I can, you know, not be questioned, you know, not just be questioned, but you build trust with people that know that you've been there before and you can take them there, you know. And that doesn't mean every coach has to be a fighter. No, but there's coaches that they mentor under another coach that has been to the high level. So you have to have been to that high level to take someone there, in my opinion. You know, like, of course, there's exceptions to the rule. You know, I would say 9 out of 10, though. You know, you got to have experienced at high level to know how to take someone there. So that's my thing. So I think you got to divulge yourself into everything there is in the sport. You know, learn the ins and outs of rules and officiating. Learn the ins and outs of coaching and recovery and, you know, everything. And be, you know, that's the complete thing to give to your athletes. And so that's why I named my gym Heritage, is that it's the passing on of all my learning. And I hope one day that my students, they want to go and open up a Heritage.
That's awesome,
Austin,
man. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing
Alabama.
with me, man, and coming and you know, it looks like somebody in Fight Style said that you are doing the sport justice in the USA, man. So you got fans out there, and there's guys you have to support. So yeah. Well, you know what? I haven't met a martial artist that I didn't like. So there's that Zen side that, you know, that you can almost count on. But then when you want to bring the heat, you know how. Yeah. So Michael, thanks again, brother. I appreciate you coming and joining me.
There.
And man, I look forward to seeing the great things you're going to do
Thank
with
you.
Muay Thai in the USA.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
about
it's
the bad
all good,
connection
man. I'm
earlier.
glad
I think
to
it was
have
the
you, brother.
iPads
All
in the
right.
background cracking and.
Thank you. Take it easy, okay? Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Weekly Warrior Happy Hour where we had two fantastic guests that shared their perspective on how we can be the best version of ourselves right where we are. And Champions and Legends, you know, that's what it's all about, man. Providing tools for your toolbox to give you that edge, to help you as you travel down the journey of being the best version of yourself. In fact, every day is an opportunity to be that best version of yourself. And if we take advantage of that each day, as Dave said earlier, you know, one day at a time, a little bit at a time, it's gonna net you great results. Man, it's getting dark sooner now, and now I got to have a little flashlight here so I can be seen on here on the screen. But listen, thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out to join us. Again, Champions and Legends produces CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. Check us out on championsandlegends.com. Join us at Champions and Legends here on Instagram if you haven't already. And we'll see you soon. Peace, love, and be the best version of yourself. All right? Cheers.